Maurice Roberge with Wiegers Financial Benefits, and welcome to another edition of CliffHangers. Today we have Greg with us from Homestead Senior Care, just to share a few ideas of what his company can present and some of the services we could provide. So maybe Greg, you could start with that on just outlining what it is that your company does and some of the services you can provide.
Sure, thanks Maurice, good to be here. What we provide is peace of mind. We help families by supporting seniors to remain in their homes for as long as possible. Most people want to age in place, and so we work with families to try and facilitate that.
Okay. Why is that such an important service, especially here in Saskatchewan?
Well, I don't know about just here in Saskatchewan, but certainly every place. Actually, that's a good point. Most people want to stay in their home. Most families, certainly the Saskatchewan story, I think historically has been people, sort of our generation, loosely speaking, left back in the 80s, and they stayed in Toronto or Vancouver or wherever they ended up. Mom and dad are here. And now, many of the clients that we're serving, mom and dad are here, they're aging, and the kids are like, we're starting to get a little concerned. And so we act as an extension of the family in a way to provide basic support in the home. It can be everything from making meals and getting groceries and being like a family member, right up to and including assistance with personal care or specialized Alzheimer's and dementia care.
So what are some of the advantages of what your company does over some of the other options that people may have as far as dealing with their more?
Sure. Well, I guess the first thing is resources and information. A lot of people are very comfortable talking about death and wills and estates, and we like to plan retirement, but it's those chapters of life in between that don't get a lot of discussion, and so we work with families to make plans to make sure that if mom or dad want to stay in their home, what kind of supports can we put in place? And if they want to move to those other places, then we have to make sure that everyone understands that there's a cost, right? There's an investment that's required. And the in-home model, I think, really is complementary because it's affordable. It's financially, yes, an investment, but people get to stay in their home with their stuff and their routines.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you typically dealing with the parent or with children?
Well, a little bit of both. 10 years ago when we opened, it was more the senior themselves. Nowadays, it's sort of the younger generation who's saying, I need to start this conversation with my folks, not sure what to do. We're happy to help with that. And then a lot of times it's, mom's fallen, or dad's, had a condition that we've just become aware of, and now we're not sure what our next step is. And we're happy to hear the story and make some recommendations. And sometimes it's, we can help you right now. Other times it's, it's probably best to talk to someone from the Alzheimer's Society or the Health Authority and see what they are counseling. And then sometimes together we kind of complement one another in terms of the goal, which is to help people stay in their homes.
So if somebody's listening that really is interested in taking that next step, what should they do?
Well, it starts with a phone call. Simply call us at 931-HOME or drop by our office at the old CPR train station there on Idlewild. We're happy to visit with folks and hear the story. We'll come to them wherever they are. And I should say too that in-home care is not just in a person's house. It could be a condo, it could be a retirement community. We serve people in assisted living. We serve people in long-term care. Care looks a little different, but there, basically wherever a person finds themselves, we can provide care and support a family.
That's great. I think it's a really valuable information, and again, especially in Saskatchewan with a more senior population that we're having more and more, I think that's such a valuable service. So thank you for your time again today, Greg. And
thank you.
Thank you again for this another edition for CliffHangers, and we look forward to seeing and speaking with you next time.